All right, I'd like to welcome, hello, my name is Chair Jason Greeno. I'd like to welcome you to this Del Norte Local Transportation Commission meeting. Please let's stand together for the roll, or for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. It doesn't say on here to call the roll, but could we call the roll for the records, please?
Commissioner Short,
I am here.
Commissioner Howard is not there. Commissioner Dooley,
Here.
Commissioner Borges,
I'm here.
Commissioner Altman.
Here.
Is Jesse Robertson on? Nope, okay. And Chair Greeno.
I am here, thank you. At this time, we are going to open up public comment, the general public comment sesh time. Anyone wishing to make public comments regarding matters either on or off the agenda and within the Commission's jurisdiction may do so at this time. However, the Commission is not permitted to act on non-agendized items. Is there any public comment? Seeing no public comment, we'll bring it back to the board. At this time, item number 4, appointment of Finance Committee members. It says I'd like to appoint 2 Finance Committee members by full formal name. So maybe we should discuss this before I appoint those people instead of just randomly picking 2 people.
So the Finance Committee doesn't meet very often, and we meet if we have an issue with the audit, if we have something that Cholla Benson Hartwick would like to discuss in general. It's been a while since we've met. The other thing that the Finance Committee members do is they are authorized to sign checks. And so right now, Darren Short is our only authorized check signatory because of change in membership and whatever. And so he's our only person right now, and that doesn't work. I mean, nor is it. It just doesn't work. I mean, he's been doing a great job. Nothing has been delayed since, and it's been this way for a few months. But it's an additional obligation and really a primary obligation of the Finance Committee. A question that I get, and I'll just go over this briefly from folks, is how do we know when things are okay to sign, like the checks? And as you sit on the board, you'll see the process. We have a contract, we have a request for proposals, or we even apply for a grant. Then you'll see an RFP go out, and then we'll award a contract, and then we'll start having invoices that are tied to that contract. If you're seeing something that you're like going, what the heck is this? I remember it was quite a long time ago, but it was Commissioner Hemmingson asked, how the heck could I have a $300 cell phone bill? And it was for a call box system. You know, it was just like, what the heck is this? And so it was our entire call box systems. And, you know, I mean, ask the questions. I would just want to encourage everybody. Most of the time, Matt is going to know the answer. But if he doesn't know the answer, you can give me a call, whatever. But I want you to understand and to know that, you know, I mean, it's fine. I'm not offended by anybody asking questions, but that's in general how you'll see the work end. You know, we'll have final products. Well, if we're paying GHD bills come next September and you've already received a final product for that work, you should be going, what is this doing here? But, you know, I mean, but I send the payment instructions to Cholla Benson Hartwick. They take everything and get it prepared. A commissioner signs checks. Once I send the payment instructions, I don't have anything to do with it other than reporting. Then there's a lot of reporting after the fact, but there are also a lot of safeguards in place. Like, for instance, I have no nor have I ever had authority to sign a check. I don't have a credit card. I don't have any funding directly tied to the Transportation Commission. And so everything comes from me to Matt. He takes a look at the overall work program, the resolutions that we've passed that authorize the payment, those kinds of things, and makes sure that everything is within the limits. And then he prepares the checks and gives them to you all. And so then it becomes an issue between my transportation commissioners and Chilwell, Benz, and Hartwick once they send the payment instructions out. So it doesn't seem to me, it may feel different to you, but it doesn't seem to me to be a very risky proposition to be signing checks when you see the work go from point A to point B, closing out a project, and then we're done with that.
Okay. I'd be willing to be on the finance committee. Was there another person in here that would like to?
Well, you're already a check signer as a board chair.
So this is an additional two people?
It's an additional two people,
Okay.
unless you only want one other. But our check signers are the board chair and two finance committee members.
Oh, okay. Well, in that case, do we have two members of this board who would like to volunteer?
Well, should we do one city, one county, or does it matter? Darren, do you want to stay? What's kind of the norm?
You know, I'm already on the books as a signer. It's a piece of cake. And we've never met as a committee to discuss anything that's happened.
Okay.
So I don't mind staying. If you desire it, it's your appointment. So.
Well, that's why I'm discussing it.
That's very nice. And just to echo what Tamara's saying, for signing, everything is familiar when you're signing checks. Oh, that's the GHD project that we talked about, or this.
That's what we voted on.
Yeah, well, that's the call boxes, and that's, yeah. So it really is pretty easy, so.
Yeah. Okay. So unless you want to break it up and have another city on there, I'd be willing to do it. Otherwise, it doesn't matter.
Do my city members, would they prefer to be on it? You don't
Whatever you
care
want.
either
It's
way?
your choice. I don't care either way.
My choice.
That's
Well,
your job.
I want to, well, we're all going to vote on it, so I want to make sure that we're going to have at least consensus, so.
No, it's your appointment.
Yeah, it's your appointment.
Oh, okay.
You're the man.
Yeah, I think last year I said, you and.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
They're like, thanks a lot.
You're
Well-
being way too nice about it.
Okay, well, in the interest of time and paperwork, I guess I'll appoint Darren Short as well as Darren Dooley. So we can have a one city, one county member on the.
Okay, so we need your full names in the minutes.
Kyle.
Yep.
And Darren Joseph Dooley.
That's a problem.
Can't wait for that first meeting to happen.
Okay,
Go back to authority.
thank you.
All right, so it's going to be Darren and Darren. Thank you, guys. All right, we're going to move on to and adjourn to the Policy Advisory Committee. We have our consent agenda. Items on this consider routine by nature and are voted on in a motion. We have the minutes for February 4th, 2025, as well as a resolution authorizing the Low Carbon Transit Operation Project Program Project.
Move to approve consent.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second.
Oh, sorry, Susan, that was first by Joey Borges and a second by Darren Short.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll make sure
Susan
that
has to listen it, yeah.
I'll make sure I state who's making the motion at further occurrences. So, all right. Do we have any public comment on the consent agenda? Seeing no public comment, we'll bring it back to the board for a vote.
Commissioner Altman,
Yes.
Commissioner Dooley,
Yes.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
Commissioner Borges,
Yes.
and Chair Greeno.
Yes, thank you. Moving on to policy and administrative, the Triennial Performance Audit Contract.
So the triennial performance audit is something that we do, and it a little bit actually reflects on our finance committee and the conversation we just had, and that people ask me on occasion, how does your board even know that you're doing the work that you're supposed to be doing? And that's what the TPA does, the triennial performance audit. It's an independent auditor that comes in and makes sure that we have, that we're completing the work that we promised. So they take a look at all of the work in 3 years of overall work program, 3 years of transit resolutions, passing funding. How efficient are we? Are we doing the work that we basically promised the taxpayers that we would do in our public meetings for the work? And so it assures the commissioners and the public that the work that we've promised we're delivering. And it's similar but a little bit different for Robocoast Transit Authority. A few years ago, Joe Ryan and I aligned our audits and put them under one contract so we could reduce the administration. The audits are all paid with Transportation Development Act funds, and that's a transit fund source, that's a requirement. So it's mandatory work funded through transit funds, and this contract covers the audits for Robocoast Transit Authority and the Transportation Commission, which is common. There are some jurisdictions with a lot of little transit agencies underneath them, and they'll provide the audit contract for all the transit agencies in, San Diego County, as an example. I mean, we only have one transit agency, but it's common to have all of the contracts under one contract for the performance audit, TDA. It's on a cycle of everything.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we authorize the executive director to execute a contract for triennial performance audits for Del Norte Local Transportation Commission and Redwood Coast Transit Authority with Moore and Associate for base term and option term.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
I will second that.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Short and a second by Commissioner Borges. Do we have any discussion on this item? Any questions, comments? Okay, do we have any public comment? Seeing no public comment. Seeing no public comment, we'll bring it back to the board for a vote.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
Commissioner Dooley,
Yes.
Commissioner Borges,
Yes.
Commissioner Altman,
Yes.
Chair Greeno.
Yes, thank you. And moving on to our next item, do we have any comments or reports out for any members of the Policy Advisory Committee, which is us? All right. Seeing none, we will adjourn as the Policy Advisory Committee and reconvene as the Del Norte Local Transportation Commission so that we can take the action on the recommendations of the Policy Advisory Committee.
I move we approve the actions taken by the Policy Advisory Committee.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Short,
I'll make that second.
and we have a second by Commissioner Borges. Do we have any public comment on this item? No public, no comments. Bring it back to the board for a vote.
Commissioner Altman,
Yes.
Commissioner Borges,
Yes.
Commissioner Dooley,
Yes.
Commissioner Short,
Yes.
and Chair Greeno.
Yes, thank you. Anybody have anything for the good of the order?
To be determined, really.
Will there be a meeting or will there not be a meeting? We will find out.
We will find out. I don't know yet. Caltrans is reviewing our overall work program for next year, and they are supposed to get it to me by the end of the month, but that misses the TAC meeting. And sometimes by the end of the month for them means the last day of the month. And what that does is then I can't put together an agenda packet and send it out. I'm supposed to have it turned back around into them within 30 days after that. So it makes my document to them late, but not late really is, it must be done before the beginning of next fiscal year. Otherwise we can't do any work. So we were talking that sometimes
Okay.
Do we need to think about changing the date for commission? Those darn city council members.
I mean, I remember who it was, but yeah. Wasn't me. Right. Yeah.
It'll be 4 times. RC. Travel on the second after. RC. All be. Because I have to. Or I just get to second. Could it be like Monday?
Well,
Monday fixes the problem.
that also, so it's the second Monday, it would be, if it was a second Monday, that wouldn't be too bad. We don't have council meetings on that. We should probably agendize this and have a discussion about it.
Yeah.
Sure. Sure.
Yeah. In the interest of progress, I think we can work it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Instead of kicking the can down the road a month every time.
Yeah.
And later in the month is too late, like 3rd or 4th week. Good. Oh, okay. So that's an option.
Well, even if it's a Monday, our council meetings aren't until 6.
True.
Worst case scenario, 5 for closed session.
Mhm.
Right? So,
That's true.
look, sounds wide open.
You're funny.
Mackenzie wants to know.
Mm-hmm. All right, well, we'll adjourn until our next meeting on April 1st at 3 p.m.